Hey everyone, hope you're all doing really well and getting ready for round 12. So we're going to be talking in this video about the round 12 trade-in targets, those guys who we should be thinking about, and a little bit around the value of the trade. So let's start with the value of the trade. So looking into our trades for the week, if you've got someone like McInnes, so averaging 75, for example, obviously last few weeks he hasn't scored as well as he did right at the start of the season. But if he's averaging 75 and you compare him to the price of someone averaging 55, which we'll scroll down and have a little look. So say Cam Murray, we're right in the money there. So 20 points in this game is very much close to 200k. So think about it, there's 9 rounds left. If you were to pick someone up like Murray instead of a McInnes, the 20 times 9 is 180, so you're missing out on 180 points. So in the grand scheme of things, if you look at the rankings, 180 points can be the difference between, right now, about 1,000 rankings, if you're in that sort of 3,000 to 4,000 range. Just think to yourself, is that worth it? Okay, if I'm going to pick up a Murray, for example, what can I do with that 200k to improve another position? It might be that in your wing fullback, you're carrying someone like a Stephen Crichton, who, yes, has scored well over the last 5 rounds. He's averaging 50, but coming with tries every game. So if you go to his normal average of 38, can you use that 200k to get you closer to a Teddy who's averaging in the 60s? Just got to think about it that way. And obviously with trades being at a premium right now, if you're struggling to get a bunch of guns into your team, you might have to use a little bit less money to get a gun in, rather than going to the top tier in blokes like McInnes. But that's just something to think about there, guys. But we'll get into the most important ones of the week. Mr. Randall, Watson, McCulloch, Brayley, all gone. Randall played 1 game, round 3, and that was a 90-minute thriller against the Panthers. He did have a 12-minute rest in that game, but managed 71 tackles for 2 misses. I said it was a slogfest. It was just a back and forth, and everyone was scoring really well that game, so that's something you got to think about. But 50 metres and 71 tackles in basically a full game is awesome, and if we can predict that he plays 60 minutes, he should be able to score 50. Just based on that on those tackles. So he's not someone that misses a lot of tackles. He gets right in there, has a crack, should be averaging 50. Great for a cash out, makes a lot of money. It's very much a no-brainer when he's got that spot for the rest of the season with all those guys out for the whole year. So very simple for Randall for me. Starling's the other one, which I've been speaking about a little bit. He's just a little bit more expensive, 15k. But it's getting 50 minutes and will average in the 40s. Playing really well. He's done it 2 games in a row. I'm really happy with where he's at. He's going to make a lot more money. Again, you can use him as a cash out who can also score in your squad. My thoughts is I say Randall is close to a 50-point player. Starling is closer to a 40-point player. Yes, we've only seen a couple of games of each and it's all a bit speculative, but they're both going to be good options for your team. Interesting one I wanted to throw in there was Mitch Barnett. He's now back and played the full game. 76 points on the weekend, 59 tackles, 5 tackle breaks. Obviously 5 misses in there, but 100 metres and 59 tackles for your lock forward who's playing big minutes is really, really good. Obviously you can look to his other scores in the season, 37, 18 and 34, and say, look, he hasn't scored that well. The Rabbitohs point per PPM is looking good, so that's definitely in the 50s. But at 500k, I said if you're really struggling, I'd say he's going to be a decent option, with Sione being out as well. So there's less chance he's going to get his minutes taken off him. Then you could bring him in as a cut price keeper, but I wouldn't put my money into Barnett. Let's look at Latrell. Or not. I've got Latrell in my normal team. Just wanted to mention Latrell. We got him back. A bunch of people have kept him and now are looking to trade him out. Yes, he's had 3 shockers, but then he's got the 3 good scores before that. So with him, I'd just be going, is he gonna do well? look at his schedule. That's going to be more of an indication of his chances. So he does have the Broncos and the Cowboys over the next few weeks, obviously after Dragons this week. More chance he's going to score well against those teams. Does he have he's a very up and down player in terms of emotions. So does he have a point to prove having 2 games off? Is he going to come back and rip and tear? Who knows? But he does have the centre and the wing fullback capabilities too. He's averaging 35 in a season where he's had a shocker, especially with those first 2 games. So outside of those first 2 games, he's averaging close to 40. So you got to think about that as a centre. That's pretty much keeper level, and there's not many people in the centres that you'd want at the moment. I've mentioned really only Best, Lomax, and Aitken. So I think he's going to be really good as a cover, and then he can go on a run where he absolutely kills it, and he can be one of the guys that people start bringing in. So try not to trade him out. I know that he's that price where you can sort of upgrade or downgrade him and get some value, but just think have that in the back of your mind when you're looking at that. Let's look at Aitken while we're there. So you and Aitken at 580, not a bad little price. Let's see, those first 2 games he played 21 minutes, 37 minutes, only got 24 in both of them. Since he's come back and been playing 80, had some quieter scores as he was getting back into it, to playing those full minutes. And since then, that last 5 rounds, he's averaging 52, which is awesome for a centre. Obviously, it'd be nice if he had sort of the wing fullback duel as well. But in those last 5 games, he's only scored 2 tries. He's someone that does get a bunch of tackle breaks each game. 4, 10, 3, 5, and 6. And making 20 tackles for 0 or 1 misses. So really, really good signs for a centre, and averaging around 150 metres over that last 5 games. Someone to think about if you're really struggling in that position and you're just looking for a guy that you can set and forget as a keeper, then I believe he's going to be one that you'd want to target there. Alex Twal I want to talk about too. Someone that I was really high on at the start of the season. Did an amazing job. Ended up playing 80 minutes a game from round 3 onwards. Got an early rest against the Titans when they won well. So, actually they lost that game. Scratch that. But he's been someone that's didn't get under 60 the whole season until obviously he got injured. But he was trekking over a point a minute, looking to play 80. So with the dual position, front row, second row, he's going to be awesome. He will be a little bit cheaper as after this week. Both him and Madison are going to be cheaper, so have a think about that. But he's someone I want to be bringing in at 785. He's going to be closer to 750 after this week with his high break even. So just be thinking about that. Just the other thing to think of, if you are going to be bringing in a guy this week, is it worth just bringing him in? He should score well. I imagine he won't play the 80, just being first game back. But you bring him in, he's still going to score well, even if he plays 50 to 60 minutes, and it just saves you worrying about a trade to bring him in next week. If you can do it now, I'd say do it. Same with Madison, he's going to be a fair bit cheaper. His break-even's 100 for this week, with his lovely 5 last week. So he's had the 1 week off, then back to that. Nice high break-even at 816k. Very much worth it to bring in your squad as well. I've got him as the second most important second row forward this year. If you've got the chance to bring him in, a Taumalolo in, and Alex Twal, these guys are all underpriced at the moment. Lolo's had a couple of quieter games, which lost him a little bit of money, but he's going to be a good option there. Madison's a gun. Other ones we want to talk about, people talking about Hetherington. He now gets a starting job with a bunch of their guys going home. But look at him, he's got 34 and 58 minutes. So that's going to be his maximum minutes played, 24 and 44 minutes. So his PPM is nothing special. I wouldn't be bringing him in even if he is at a cheaper price at 270. He's not worth it. Going to Tracey at 212. Gets the starting job. With Townsend down injured, he should have it for a long time. With a nice bad injury to the calf for Townsend, he is not a bad cash-out option who will play for you. I don't expect him to make a lot of money, but with 9 rounds left, you can almost start talking about straight-out cash-outs, but I'm sure a lot of us have got players like Tessie New, Braden Williami, these kind of guys on the bench already, sitting there making no money. So I don't see him as being worth it, but he's an option for some people at 212 who is playing. All right, Johnny Bateman. Nothing really to talk about here. He doesn't have the stats. You can have a general look at his play last year. Does score tries, got 4 tries in the year. Someone who averages in the 30s to 40 tackles, makes the tackle breaks and the offloads, and makes good meters each week. He was an absolute gun last year, and that's why he's averaging 870. I expect him to do really well coming back. Maybe not this week as well, and may lose a little bit of money, but going forward, the game's faster. He scored really well last year. He's only going to do better this year, I believe, in a team that's doing well again, same as last year. So, and he'll want to send off the Raiders with a great year before he heads back home. So he's another great option. But there's other guys like, as I said, Twile, Madison, Lolo, who will be better to start with if you need to bring in someone right now. But anyway, guys, that's my thoughts on the trade-ins for this week. Be careful when we don't have many trades left. You don't want to get down to 0 and then everyone else passes you in the last 5 rounds. It makes it all a bit of a waste of time. But I'm sure you had fun doing your 2 trades each week. Anyway, that's my thoughts, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content this week. Please hit the subscribe and the notification bell if you're really enjoying the videos. I appreciate that a lot, and I'm enjoying putting them out. Have a great week.